Welcome to the DIY Honda Garage channel. DTC P0460 indicates an out-of-range status for the fuel level sensor, which is also known as the fuel gauge sending unit. This sensor is crucial for providing accurate readings of the fuel level in the tank, allowing the driver to gauge how much fuel is available. It is typically located within the fuel tank assembly and communicates with the gauge control module. When there's a fault, drivers may experience unreliable fuel gauge readings, leading to potential miscalculations on fuel availability. Therefore, understanding the DTC and following through with the troubleshooting is vital to ensure safety and functionality of the vehicle. If this code appears, it is necessary to check for associated DTCs that might contribute to the issue. As outlined in the troubleshooting guide, the fuel level sensor, or fuel gauge sending unit, plays a critical role in determining the fuel level in the tank. It measures the amount of fuel and sends this information to the gauge control module, which displays the fuel level to the driver. This entire system is essential for providing accurate fuel readings. The sensor itself is housed within the fuel tank and, as such, is exposed to various environmental conditions. A failure in this component can lead to incorrect gauge readings, resulting in over-emptying or underfilling the fuel tank. The gauge control module is connected to the fuel sensor and is responsible for processing the input from the sensor, converting it into a readable format for the fuel gauge display. Several factors could contribute to the triggering of DTC P0460. Firstly, wiring issues are common and may include short circuits or breaks in the wiring that connects the fuel level sensor to the gauge control module. Next, faulty components, such as a defective sensor or gauge control module, can also lead to an incorrect reading. Moreover, poor connections due to corrosion or loose terminals can impede the proper transfer of signals between parts, causing inaccurate fuel level readings. It's crucial to check for these issues systematically before concluding that a component needs replacement. Each cause must be investigated carefully, as this will help identify the root issue accurately. Symptoms associated with DTC P0460 can provide significant clues in diagnosing the issue. Firstly, erratic fuel gauge readings may be observed, which do not correspond to the actual amount of fuel in the tank. For instance, the gauge might fluctuate or stay stuck at empty. Secondly, there may be instances where there's no indication on the fuel gauge at all, leaving the driver unaware of fuel levels. Lastly, the check engine light may also illuminate on the dashboard, alerting the driver to an underlying issue that needs attention. Recognizing these symptoms early can lead to timely interventions, preventing further complications in the vehicle's operation. The first troubleshooting step involves verifying if the DTC P0460 is confirmed. Begin by turning the vehicle to the on mode, which powers up the electrical system without starting the engine. Using the Honda Diagnostics System, HDS, proceed to clear any existing diagnostic trouble codes, DTCs. After clearing the DTC, turn the vehicle back to the off mode and then to the on mode again, waiting for 10 seconds. This sequence allows the system to check if the issue persists. If DTC P0460 reappears on the diagnostic screen, the failure is indeed confirmed. However, if there's no indication of DTC P0460, it suggests an intermittent failure, and further inspection of connections and terminals may be necessary. In this troubleshooting step, the focus turns to the fuel gauge positive line, or fuel gauge plus wire. Start by ensuring the vehicle is in the off or lock mode. Next, remove the gauge control module to gain access to the pertinent connections. disconnect the fuel tank unit's 4P connector and the gauge control module's connector A, 32P. With these components disconnected, measure the resistance between test points, specifically between the female terminals of the fuel tank unit connector number 2 and body ground. A reading of 1 megaohm or higher indicates that the fuel gauge plus wire is not shorted and that the next step can be pursued. However, if the resistance is lower, it signals a short circuit that requires immediate repair between the gauge control module and the fuel tank unit. Continuing with the diagnostics, the next step is to check for an open wire in the fuel gauge plus line. Revert to having the vehicle in the off, lock mode, and ensure the fuel tank unit's 4P connector remains disconnected. This time, you'll connect terminals A and B using a jumper wire. Terminal A corresponds to the fuel tank unit connector, number 2, while terminal B is connected to body ground. After making this connection, measure the resistance again between test points. Gauge control module connector A, 32P, number 22, and body ground. A successful reading of 1 ohm or lower indicates the fuel gauge plus wire is intact, allowing you to move to the next step. If this reading exceeds 1 ohm, it signifies an open circuit, warranting repairs in the wire leading to the gauge control module. This step delves into checking the fuel gauge line for any issues. Start by disconnecting the jumper wire from the fuel tank unit 4P connector. You will once again connect terminals A and B with a jumper wire. Terminal A is corresponding to the fuel tank unit connector number 4, and terminal B connects to body ground. Ensure the vehicle remains in the off, lock mode, and both the fuel tank unit and gauge control module connectors are disconnected. Measure the resistance between the gauge control module connector A, 32P, number 21, and body ground. A successful measurement of 1 ohm or lower indicates that the fuel gauge wire is functioning properly. Should the resistance measurement exceed this value, it reveals an open circuit requiring immediate repairs between this wire and the fuel tank unit. In the final troubleshooting step, the focus shifts to the fuel gauge sending unit. Start by removing any jumper wires to revert to standard connection state. It's time to test the functionality of the fuel gauge sending unit. This component portrays the accuracy of fuel level readings directly. A successful function means the fuel gauge sending unit is operating correctly, and in such a case, the next action is to replace the gauge control module, which appears to be the faulty piece. Conversely, if the sending unit is determined to be faulty, it should be replaced to restore accurate fuel level indications. Ultimately, thorough testing ensures that the entire system is rectified and fully operational. To verify the effectiveness of repairs made following the troubleshooting steps, a final check for DTCs is crucial to ensure that no further issues exist with the fuel level system. Utilize the HDS once again and scan for any pending or confirmed DTCs. Next, test the fuel gauge functionality to ensure it accurately represents the fuel levels after any repairs or replacements have been carried out. To encapsulate the verification, take the vehicle for a drive under normal operational conditions. Observe the behavior of the fuel gauge during this drive. A consistently accurate display will affirm that repairs have rectified the previous error. Documenting these final tests not only validates repair success, but also contributes to maintaining vehicle reliability. Preventive maintenance is essential in ensuring the longevity of the fuel level sensor and its associated components. Regular inspections can help identify potential issues before they escalate. Inspecting the wiring connections periodically will uncover any signs of wear, corrosion, or loose terminals, which can lead to DTC P0460 in the future. Keeping the fuel tank clean is also crucial, as contaminants can interfere with the sensor's ability to accurately measure fuel levels. Additionally, maintain the fuel system with high-quality fuel, and replacing fuel filters as recommended can significantly contribute to the effective functioning of the fuel gauge system. Regular maintenance practices lead to better overall performance and safety of the vehicle. In summary, DTC P0460 indicates an issue with the fuel level sensor, necessitating a systematic approach to troubleshooting. A thorough understanding of each step ensures effective diagnostics, from verifying DTCs, measuring resistances in the wiring, to testing the fuel gauge sending unit itself. Recognizing signs of impending issues can greatly enhance vehicle reliability and performance. By adhering to preventive maintenance measures, such as regular inspections and clean fuel systems, the chances of encountering such DTCs can be significantly minimized. Ultimately, ensuring the health of the fuel level system enhances driver confidence and safety on the road. Please like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.